About 3 hours ago, the Canadian-born Texas Senator Ted Cruz, posted this. Nigerian officials know their policies have created an environment in which Christians are being persecuted and slaughtered, including their enforcement of Sharia law and their tolerance of Islamic violence. Nigerian officials know their policies have created an environment in which Christians are being persecuted and slaughtered, including their enforcement of Sharia law and their tolerance of Islamic violence. He was responding to the news that African Union chief denies genocide claims against Christians as Cruz warns Nigerian officials. Now, lately, Senator Ted Cruz is now attacking the root cause of extremism in Nigeria. Before now, sometimes I used to say this, that how is it that Nigeria is practicing two constitution, two laws? They will tell you that maybe in the north is a criminal code, in the south is penal code. Indirectly, we are in the confederation that only one party is enjoying, because they now have the opportunity to have their Sharia police that can see beer and crush it. Nigerian police cannot see you selling beer and crush it because it's not against Nigerian constitution. But the Sharia police will now see you and enforce the Sharia law and break your beer, break your restaurant, do all sort of things against you. So Nigerians who are under this Sharia are being persecuted, are being slaughtered. Now, I understand where Ted Cruz is coming from. This man understands that for Nigeria to be stabilized, there must not be Sharia in Nigeria. Now, Sharia started, I think, in the year 2000 or thereabout, but there was a Sharia crisis where people started agitating for Sharia. Why were they agitating for Sharia, if not because of a planned something? Because after the implementation of Sharia, that gave rise to all this Boko Haram, ISWAP. Follow me, because if you follow Boko Haram's trend from the beginning, they have one mission: to turn Nigeria into Sharia state. So if there is no room, if Obasanjo, what is this man, Ahmed Yerima, right? Former governor of Kasinabi, Zamfara, who, started all this Sharia, so on and so forth. If they did not give room to these extremists, these terrorists, because these terrorists now gain the love of the people, especially people from the northern Nigeria. You know why? Because they believe that if you kill someone who is not a Muslim, you are doing a favor to God. You understand? They call it infidel. And Boko Haram, and especially SWAP, we post portion of Quran where they will tell you, if you meet unbelievers, don't first kill the person. You have to try to convert the person. If the person refuses for conversion, you have to collect tax. And most of the time you hear that these terrorists are collecting taxes from communities. They tax people. If you don't pay tax, you can't go and farm, or you can't go and harvest what you have farmed. It is going on, but it is part of their belief enshrined in their Quran that you have to tax these people. And if they refuse to pay tax, kill them. It is enshrined in their holy book, okay? Now, if you look at all these things, you will understand that for Nigeria to talk about anything stopping insecurity, there must be a ban on Sharia law. Why should there be a Sharia law in a secular state where we have Christian, the Jewish, African traditional religious people, we have people who practice Hindus, and so on and so forth? Why Sharia embedded in Nigerian constitution? Why? Why Sharia Court of Appeal? We have Court of Appeal, Sharia Court, and they will tell you that it is based on the customary court, backup that made them to create such laws and court and so on and so forth. I saw a video some time ago, someone that, Sharia Court ordered they should lock his shop in Nigeria. In Nigeria, people should think, now, what Ted Cruz is saying is this: you must put to end Sharia law in Nigeria. Then it is not compulsory to put to end Sharia law. No, it's not compulsory. If you don't want to put to end Sharia law in Nigeria, then you've got to allow Sharia states to be on their country. It's simple as that. You've got to allow Sharia state to be on their country, because we cannot continue like this. Now, before they implement Sharia laws in those states, we have Christians in those states. We have other people. Both atheists, they were in the state, but you now pass it into law, and you started doing Sharia something in the state. Whereas you have multi-religious people in the state. And because of this Sharia now, people are being persecuted, you have You have listened to the testimonies of so many people who were born and brought up from the north, how they were being persecuted. Even so many of them were denied admission, denied local government of origin. Why? Because they are not Christians. This extremism will never rise without Sharia. This extremism will never go anywhere without Sharia. Any place you are seeing extremism, it is tied to Sharia. Why is it that nobody is raising the law in the House of Rep or House of Senate to stop Sharia in Nigeria? Nigeria cannot remain one without you stop Sharia. And I believe that these people, is their right to practice what they believe, but if you want to practice it, you've got to seek for your own country. And that is what Boko Haram is doing. That is why they love Boko Haram. Someone like Buhari will tell you if you fight Boko Haram, it's a fight against the North. When Boko Haram started, someone like Sultan of Sokoto was against people fighting this Boko Haram. And that is why Sheikh Ahmed Gumi and the rest will also tell you, don't kill these people. Don't do this, enter peace agreement with them. Why? Because they see them as freedom fighters. They see them as their own warriors. They don't see them like criminals and so on and so forth. That is my own opinion. And it's a verifiable fact. Go and listen to these people. They don't condemn all these shits. They allow these people, they give them a safe haven. Did anybody tell you why the Nigerian government recruited terrorists into the Nigerian army? This is one thing that I want the world to know. I want it to be discussed in the CNN. I want it to be discussed in Fox News. I want, fake news, Al Jazeera and BBC. I want these people to understand that Nigerian government are deliberately recruiting terrorists into the Nigerian army. Where does it happen anywhere in the world? Where does it happen? Because they do not see these people as dangerous people. So they see them as no risk at all. So they are fit to become president, a terrorist, a Boko Haram terrorist. They are fit to be joined into army. Now, the Nigerian army personnel are complaining that the Boko Haram, who they call so-called repented ones that were inducted into the army, they are now leaking intelligence with the terrorists. So they can't defeat the terrorists any longer. And this is what is happening. But nobody wants to understand this fact. So most of my friends are Muslims. I take time to explain all these things for them. You've got to be in a different country entirely to enjoy all these things so that nobody will tell you why you're doing this. You've got to be in your own country. Why is it that black men find it difficult to reason, to think? Shall we continue to fight perpetual fight? Shall we continue to die perpetually? Now, if these people can call 9 northern states Sharia state when they were Christians there, who told you tomorrow they can't call Nigeria a Sharia country when Christians are also there? So these are the situations we are talking about. It cannot work like this. It's not going to work. So I really understand what Ted Cruz is doing, and I think he needs people's support. He needs people's support because this thing can never be discussed on national television in Nigeria. All these people, they can't even try to do investigation. What is the problem? What is the backbone of these terrorists? Every now and then, they are commanding the federal government, release the name of terror sponsors. Where are the names that the United Arab Emirates released? Who are the people sponsoring Boko Haram? Why are they colluding? The problem is Sharia. No, there is no extremist that will see Boko Haram and call Boko Haram evil. That is why many people now, they are agitating for Tinubu to appoint Sheikh Ahmed Gumi like ambassador of peace so that he will be in charge of security, all those things. That is what they are moving now, agitating. Where are we going from here? Anyway, I understand what Ted Cruz is doing. Anybody who is trying to say that these people are just, they have ulterior motive. Oh, if they have ulterior motive, then answer this question. Why do we have Sharia in Nigeria? Why do we have Sharia in Nigeria? No, I would just want somebody to tell me, why do we have Sharia in Nigeria? Why? Why? No, I just want a simple answer. Why? And that answer can never be found. So, Ted Cruz need people to stand by him. He is saying the truth. To my Muslim brothers, I want, if possible, for, look at Saudi Arabia, look at Qatar, look at Dubai. These are Muslim countries. But these Muslim countries don't allow some Nigerian Muslims to come to their country. You see, some Muslim countries don't allow someone like Gumi to come to their country. It is time for people to think. Extremism is not good. Extremism is not good. And if you try to discuss this thing on a national television, someone like Rufai Oseni will still be telling you that Christians are still extremists. That is what the position Rufai Oseni is putting, that we have extremists, both in all religions. I said, oh, no problem, but always try to let us understand what you are talking about, because me, I don't like to put mouth a religious thing. I just talk about these issues because it's affecting insecurity. For me, I think it is time for everybody to call for the end of Sharia in Nigeria. It's either you like it or not. Sharia must be put to end.